Where are we? Okay.
There today. I can't see enough faces, so I can't see your hands. I'm just gonna assume all of your hands are up.
So Lynette was there, and Tamara Tice, and Ricky, obviously. And who else was there? Oh, Ismail was there for a little bit. Christine was there for a little bit. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. We're going to have so much fun with this. I can't wait to launch our script championship next week and send a lucky winner on a VIP mega camp experience. We're going to have a blast with this. Welcome to everybody who's joining us today. My name is Anna Kibble. I'm the team leader over at the Keller Williams in Park Meadows. Today we've joined our market centers again. We've got a couple of really awesome guests and announcements here that we've brought to you today. So this is kind of your KW tool belt team meeting. Our goal today is to help you feel educated and empowered about some of the phenomenal tools you have available to you to use today that you may not be taking advantage of when you're working with buyers and with sellers. We've got a special guest with us today from Keller Mortgage. We're going to be talking also about the launch of Keller Offers here in the Denver metro area and the upcoming launch of the Denver chapter of KWYP. So welcome also to our team at Highlands Ranch and Miss Madison Peler, and new team leader over at Highlands Ranch. Welcome today. And so let's dive in. I want you guys, as you're learning about these tools and you are putting together some different scenarios in your head that these tools can become a value to your clients, I also want you to think about how you can use these tools in your prospecting and marketing to change the story, right? The news and every realtor I know on social media is talking about how fast homes are selling, right? And if the story you're still telling to the public is that I sell homes faster than anybody else and above asking price, then you're probably telling a story that's not going to set you apart from the crowd. It also doesn't solve a problem. When we look at the problems that our buyers and sellers have today, what's the number one issue they're facing?
No inventory.
Where am I going to go? Or how am I going to compete? Right? And so as you learn about these tools that you are putting in your tool belt today, turn on your cameras, open your microphones, let's ask some questions and really explore these so that we can learn as much as we can about these offerings and how we can bring more value to our clients, but also think about how you can change the conversation in using these tools. Right? How you can solve those problems, how you can bring a competitive advantage to your buyers and your sellers when they work with you. And so with that in mind, we're starting to load up. I think everybody's awake and aware. Happy Wednesday to you all. Dawn, I want to introduce you, and you're here with us today with Keller Mortgage.
Yes, ma'am. How you guys doing?
Oh, wow. We're celebrating spring with some surprise snow on the ground. Anybody else shocked and awed about the snow falling yesterday, or was it just me? Yeah, but it's going to be like 70 today, so it's fine here. That's
not bad. That's good. Yeah, I'm in Ohio. The weather's kind of different here too. It was 40 degrees on Friday and it's 80 today, so it's up and down. There's no snow. Gotcha. So Yeah, did you want me to kind of just take off and kind of go into Keller Mortgage? Or?
Absolutely. You are welcome to go. And if you can't already, I think Amy can allow you to share your screen if you need to as well.
Yeah, so I don't, I sent Jessica the Grow Your Business with Keller Mortgage PDF. I don't know if everybody got that, or if you guys need me to send some emails out that kind of has some bullet points of some of the savings that I'll go over with you guys. But yeah, so my name's Don Dickson. I'm a senior loan officer. I've been with Keller for almost 3 years. Just a little background on me. I've been in the mortgage industry since 2001. Started selling loans in 2004. For the better part of 13 years, I was with Chase, a big mortgage company. So ventured out, wanted to leave the corporate arena. So I ended up at Keller Mortgage, and really believe in the products that we have and the savings that can help you guys, help your clients save a lot of money. So the PDF that I sent out, it gives you a good idea of some of the loans that we offer. And those loans are going to be your traditional conventional loans, FHA, VA, we do some USDA. Our minimum credit scores did go up last year due to COVID. So the minimum credit score requirement is going to be a 640 or above. 640, 660 is going to be perfect for an FHA loan, which is minimum is 3.5% down. If you've got some first-time home buyers, we can do 3% if they have pretty good credit and the debt to income is in line. Otherwise, they'll need 5% down for conventional. We have our benefits with when they use you as their agent, we will waive our lender fees. So we have 2 fees. We have a processing fee and an underwriting fee. It's $1,500. So automatically that goes away. It gets to 0 if they're using a Keller Williams realtor. We also have a $1,000 lender credit that'll go towards the third-party fees if they finance $150,000 or more. So the minimum has to be $150,000 or more. We can still help them. By the way, I get asked a lot. That's not our minimum loan amount. If you've got somebody who's financing less than $150,000, I can still help them down to, I believe our minimum loan amount's $85,000. They just don't get the $1,000 discount. That's all. We also have discounted interest rates. So there's a discount that buys their rate down at no cost to them when using a Keller Williams realtor. So all of those discounts, by the way, will go away if they leave you as an agent. If they go to Remax or they do a for sale by owner. I had one of those last week where I was helping a lady for a couple of months. She found a home that was a for sale by owner, and the seller just absolutely refused to have an agent involved. So I told her I could still help her, but all of those discounts went away. I had to charge her $1,500 in lender fees. She didn't get the $1,000 lender credit, and then the rate was a little higher. So those are the financial benefits of using Keller Mortgage. We also order the appraisal on day one, which is really important. Most places, almost everywhere that I'm doing loans, the appraisals are taking a little bit longer than what we'd like. So we order them right away. We pay for that up front, and then the client will pay for that appraisal at closing. If for some reason they do not purchase the home, contracts, the negotiations fall through, inspection comes back where they're not happy, they walk away from the house, we will actually eat the cost of the appraisal. They're not charged that appraisal. We're going to hope that they circle back and use us on the next one that they find. So that's a huge selling point. A lot of other companies require them to put a $500 charge on their credit card. And if they don't buy the house, I know it's rare, but if they don't end up buying it, they're out $500. So that's a pretty big savings. We also do pre-approvals as opposed to pre-qualifications. A lot of companies are handing out pre-quals where they just look at the credit and then they take what the client says as far as their income is concerned. We strongly recommend that you have your clients reach out to us as soon as they reach out to you to get pre-approved. We're going to ask them to fill out an application, upload some W-2s, pay stubs. The system will ask for tax returns. Unless they're self-employed or they own other properties, we most likely don't need tax returns. But at minimum, W-2s, pay stubs, and bank statements. Once they submit that to us, we send the file over to an underwriter, and then within 24 hours, we should have a pre-approval, or we should know what, if any, issues there are that we need to address up front. Which in this environment, that's really important. You want your offers to look strong compared to others. And ours are fully underwritten. So that's really, really important. And then also a lot of, I do get asked a lot to call the listing agents. Some people aren't familiar with Keller Mortgage in certain areas. I'm more than happy to talk to listing agents to explain, why our offer is different than a lot of the other offers that they're getting, that it's been fully underwritten, that I've looked at their credit, that I've seen their financial information as far as income, their assets. So that's worked well with winning offers as well. Refinances, we do refinances as well. You get the same discounts. So if you have, another tool to help with some of your clients, if you're reaching out to prior clients to check on them. I know some agents have a drip campaign like that. Let them know that because you've helped them in the past and because they know you personally, that they can get access to the Keller Mortgage 0+ program. That's where there's no lender fees, the $1,000 credit I told you about, and discounted interest rates. And you guys as Keller Williams realtors also qualify for that as well. So if you're looking to refinance, we can help you out as well. Let's see. I think that's pretty much, a 5-minute course as far as what we have to offer. One last thing I will say, I do recommend, I think Gary tells you guys to, have 2 or 3 lenders on hand to talk to and reach out. I do strongly recommend to have your clients at least have a conversation with us, at least call us. 9 times out of 10, when I get a fee sheet compared to another lender, we're going to have the better deal, specifically because they work with you. So that's a great tool for you guys to stand out. Let them know that you can save them thousands of dollars on financing. Because again, a lot of the other mortgage companies with these rates, they've started to increase. A lot of them are charging origination fees and points to make their rates stand out. And when I can tell within 2 seconds, what they're charging, and then I can help educate your buyers on what to look for. Even if they don't use Keller Mortgage, I tell them, what to look for, what to ask. A lot of people think you just ask what the rate is. It's way more in depth than just asking what the rate is. You want to know what the fees are, what you're paying, what you're being charged, and if it makes sense financially to buy that rate down. So that's Keller Mortgage in a nutshell. Any questions?
Yeah, Don, you mentioned originally loan types, but really just about any loan type you guys covering in Keller Mortgage, right?
Yeah, yes and no. We do what 90% of other mortgage companies do. What we do not do, we don't do manufactured housing. We don't do mobile homes. I don't know if you guys have condo hotels out there. We don't do those. We don't do down payment assistance programs or grants. So a lot of those states have state-specific down payment programs or grants. We can't use those. So we're not the perfect fit for everybody. We know that. But I'd say 90% of your customers could benefit by using Keller Mortgage.
Right. You guys do have a jumbo program though as well, yes?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have we have jumbo up to 3 million. USDA, VA, FHA, conventional, Fannie, Freddie purchases, refinance, primary, vacation, second homes, and investment properties. Those would be all the ones we do.
Don, what's your contact information?
Yeah, so I'll give you my cell phone. That's the best number to reach me. If you want to text me, call me. My cell phone is 740-815-5306. That's 740-815-5306. And then my email, if you want my email, it's D as in Don, and then my last name, Dickson @kellermortgage.com. I just saw a chat come up. Sorry, guys, I'm not I'm an expert in Zoom here, so I think someone asked me to.
If you'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, it's a great idea. All right, so I'll put that in there. I'll put all that information in there for you guys, and then let me also give you an idea of ideally how it would play out. So some of you guys probably use Command. I talked to some realtors who just absolutely do not like Command. That's fine. If you like Command, I can send you a link, and I've still got some openings open to where you can pick me as a preferred loan officer. That way, if you have a client you want to go specifically to me, and anytime you work with someone, if you want to make sure that you have the person's name, me, and you want me to help them every time, if you select me as your preferred loan officer in Command, then anytime you share the link or send a link via email, or if you text it to them, when they go online and they fill out the application, it'll be automatically sent to me. If you're fine with just it being a random person, that's fine as well. You can direct them to kellermortgage.com, and then they would just fill out the application there. Or you could also send them the link via Command or in email or text, and then it would go to a random person who is licensed in Colorado. But so what I was getting at is, so ideally I could send, if you want me to send you that link, let me know. You could select me or someone else that if you know somebody else that's worked with someone at Keller Mortgage, you can select whoever you want. And then ideally what would happen is you could then send a link to your clients from Command to apply. For the agents that don't like to use Command, I have agents that will email me, text me, or call me and ask me to send a link to the client. I don't have a problem with that. So what I typically would then do is, if the client wants me to email it to them, I'll send them a link in an email, and then they would go to the application, fill it out, and then upload the documents. And then that's when I work on the loan. Once everything's in there, I can fire it off over to an underwriter, and then typically it's got a 24-hour turnaround time. I usually will call the customer. I'm not notified until they start filling out the application and submit it. So once I'm notified that way, I then call the client, introduce myself, get an idea what they're looking for, kind of let them know what we need, and just, acclimate ourselves with each other. And then after I have that conversation, I call the agent to let them know I spoke to your client. They're working on the documents, and then I'll try to get you a pre-approval letter as soon as they get that information over to me. So communication with me is really important. Even if I'm not in front of my computer, like I was in Tennessee for Easter weekend, I'm in Ohio, had some phone calls on Saturday and Sunday. I always answer, even though if I'm not from my computer. So I might not be able to give you a status on said customer at that moment, but you won't have an issue having me respond to you pretty quickly. So
I love that. Hey, Don, we've got a question in the chat, a great question too. Do you guys service your loans, or do you sell them?
Sorry, I'll try to keep an eye on this chat thing.
Oh, no worries.
I appreciate your help. Yeah, it's a great question. So we sell the loans. So what typically will happen is on purchases and refinances, we will take the first payment, and then within 45 to 60 days, we sell the loan to a servicing mortgage company. We sell, there's 15 or 20 different companies that we sell them to, and they're all bigger companies, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. I think there's KeyBank, Chase, Wells Fargo, PennyMac. They're big companies, but we're a mortgage, we're like a broker. So, which is also how I can, obviously that's how I can beat a lot of the deals out there. When I get a client and they get a contract and I go to lock in the rate, when I pull up a fee sheet, I've got 10 investors, 10 different rates. So, we obviously want to offer them the best deal. So we go to the lowest rate with the lowest cost, and that's who we select. So that gives us options, which is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else has a question for Don? Well, we've got him on today.
I'm going to put my information in this chat, like someone asked. Figure this out.
Awesome.
Hey, Don, I already put your info in the chat.
So
and
fast.
the PDF that you mentioned, Grow Your Business with Keller Mortgage, is also in the chat for everybody if you want to grab it.
Yeah, so that email, real quick, that email is incorrect. There's no dot. It's DD, I believe, right? I think it's DD. I'm just double checking, but I'm pretty sure.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, you got me double. Yeah, there we go. It's DD. Yeah. So no dot between the two Ds.
All right.
Yes, yeah. Everything
My
else.
apologies.
No, I appreciate the help. Thanks.
Love it. Well, and so for those of you who may not be aware of the story and how Keller Williams got into Keller Mortgage, right, is Gary was looking for solutions. He was looking for an opportunity to put additional tools in agents' tool belts, and he saw the direction that the industry was headed. Right, looking at long-term, being able to create an end-to-end platform that provides a seamless experience for your clients. Right, he knew that mortgage had to be a piece of that. So in we go to the mortgage world, into Keller Mortgage. And as Don had explained, we have the 0+ loan program, right, which when your client is working with a Keller Williams agent, waives a substantial portion of the fees they would typically see when they're starting, when they're going through the mortgage lending process, right? So it creates substantial savings for the customer. And we do this. You guys might have worked with a lender before who's done this. They've waived some of the fees, but they back into it by upping the rate. Right. And so that's really common in the mortgage industry. Yeah. We don't do that. In fact, we do the opposite of that. We extend that savings by buying down the rate on the client's behalf. Right. And Keller Mortgage actually, makes its money on the back end when those loans sell. Right. And the reason for that is to provide you a tool in your toolbox. And obviously, when we think of mortgages, we think of buyers, right? I've got to get my buyer pre-approved. But this tool in our toolbox is actually, I would say, more valuable when I'm working with a seller. Because what do most sellers have to do when they sell their house?
Buy another house.
I mean, almost every time, right? Yeah. They're buying another house. And so this tool allows you to compete with that. Oh, well, they said they do it for 1% conversation, right? Or, maybe this is a worthwhile endeavor, but I'm not very sure about where we're going to go next, right? They're able to increase their purchase power on the back end when they purchase the other home. Right, when they're going to resale, every penny helps in those conversations. So I'd love to hear from anybody who's had experience with Keller Mortgage. I know we've got a bunch of you out there who have had success in having these conversations in the past, or you or your clients have worked with Keller Mortgage.
Got to be somebody out there, right?
I'll say something. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn, but the offer can also be extended to, if you are representing your seller, it can also be extended to the buyer on the other side, as long as a Keller Williams agent is part of the transaction.
Yeah, and I was going to hit on that. That's a great point. Yeah, so it's not just for your buyers. If you're listing a house and someone comes in, you can offer that, especially if you're negotiating, trying to pick up fees. I know that's probably not common now, but as long as there's a Keller Williams realtor on the contract, on the buying side or listing side, that's all we need to see.
Exactly. So what he's saying is, I know we're not dealing with a lot of buyer fees right now, but a great tool once we get back into that is to go back to them and say, hey, listen, what if we told you we could save you that $5,000 by using this lender, and we don't have to pay those buyer fees? So you're representing your seller in a much better way just by offering something that is already given to us. So make sure you file that one away in your tool belt, because it's definitely a good one and will be used a lot.
Yep. Good point.
Awesome.
Well, in weird fashion, Ricky has a question.
Alrighty.
Don, thanks for being here today. Is there any, this is all fantastic and I really appreciate it. Is there any additional benefits if we use you as for our own personal transactions?
So there's no additional benefits, but with that said, there's really no room for additional benefits. You know, you get the same benefits as your clients, as the buyer, or the listing, but no, because the lender fees are going to be zero. So all the fees at that point are third party. Title fees, appraisal, you know, those are all third party, not charged by Keller. Sure. We also spend some money to buy the rate down for you as well. And then if you're financing over $150,000, we give you that $1,000 lender credit. So there's not anything additional, but yeah, it's a pretty stellar deal
cool.
that we offer.
Yeah, no, it's a very stellar deal. I appreciate that. I just wanted to ask. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Sure. Yeah.
So we refinanced with Keller Mortgage, and it was probably the easiest transaction we've ever done.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And in the multiple houses that we have bought and sold.
That's good.
Yeah, it was amazing. Super easy. Awesome.
I know it's and we do a lot of refis for agents too. And I do get asked, you know, what type of documentation, and as you guys being agents, being self-employed, I'm sure you're familiar with the hoops you have to jump. You know, we can't get past that, but you know, we do the refis, we do the purchases, you know, the tax returns we send over, but it's usually on a refinance. I've had great success with it. I've reached out to a lot of my agents that I work with, let them know that their past clients can take advantage of it. And we're still in a low rate environment, even though rates have started to tick up some. About 16 months ago, I was offering 4.25, 4.3. So these rates are still really low, especially historically, to take advantage of those refinances. So I do recommend, if you have clients that you've sold homes to before in the past, I mean, you can even say it to your friends and family, to be honest. I mean, all they have to do is have your name, and then it links up, and then they get the discounts.
Yeah, incredible opportunities there in those touches as you're, you know, having your care calls and you're reaching out, you're, you know, executing your quarterly call plan, and when's the last time that they've refinanced? Are they aware that even though rates are going back up, they're still low and probably lower than what they have on their mortgage? And if you had a tool in your tool belt that could help save your people money, even if they weren't doing a purchase or a sale at the moment, I mean, how much more value would you be bringing to that relationship, especially when they were, if they were thinking about making a purchase or a sale in the future, or they have friends or family members who are, right, for those referral pieces. So absolutely huge. And I love it. If you guys can, in the chat, definitely download the flyer there, but I would encourage all of you to become familiar with your Keller Mortgage portal. Inside of your portal, you will find a vast amount of resources, everything from marketing materials, advertising guidelines, so that you can very safely, promote Keller Mortgage from your real estate business, right? How you can talk about it, script ideas, different marketing and sale ideas. I mean, there's a really, really great variety of resources on there if you haven't checked it out yet.
There's also a pipeline view, I believe, as well. When I was at Family Reunion last year, they had the app that they released, and so I got to play with it a lot with agents. And there's a pipeline view in there as well. So any deal that you have with Keller Mortgage, if you have multiple clients, you should be able to track it on there. And one other thing I didn't really touch on, we do close a lot of loans per month, and one of the things that I hear from agents that's important to them, that's just as important as me, is communication. So Keller Mortgage has set up a database to where you'll get computer generated emails letting you know throughout the process, hey, the appraisal was scheduled. The loan is, I think they're working on a clear to close one. I think that's been going out now. So you'll get notifications throughout the process. There's 120, 30 loan officers here. Some of us have assistants. That also helps too, as we have another person that can kind of help hold your client's hand throughout the process. So there's a lot of resources within the app, within Command, in person, as far as, talking on the phone and people helping your clients with any questions. So it is a great tool to use, not only to help them save money, but also to help them walk them through buying the house, because it can be stressful.
Yeah. Don, quick question about the pre-approvals, and there's another one in the chat too. But that can be like a customized pre-approval, right? Like if I'm pre-approved to 650 and, we're submitting an offer at 625, I don't have to submit the full 650 pre-approval, right? I can adjust that down. Right. So there should be a tool, and let me know if you guys see otherwise, but there was a tool that was released several months ago to where if you need a pre-approval for less than what they were pre-approved at, you should be able to make those changes in Command and be able to print off a pre-approval letter. If you can't figure that out or have issues, like I said, half the agents I work with love Command, the other half don't. I can always generate something pretty quickly. I would recommend also too, when you talk to your clients and they do get the pre-approval process started with us, I would recommend them putting the max amount, because it's way easier to go down than to go up. When I go up, it's not a problem. Now I'm waiting on an underwriter to review the file, has to go back into queue. So, it could be a day or two for them to re-review it. But if we start from the top, I know they're pre-approved at this amount. I can start chopping it if need to within a few minutes. Does that answer your question? Love that. Absolutely. How long does that initial pre-approval usually take? I think you said it was just a day or two, like 24 hours.
So I would say if it's a regular W-2 employee, 24 hours. If it's a self-employed borrower, personally, I've run into where they think they send me everything. They think they sent me all the tax returns. They usually don't. So then the underwriter will say, hey, we're missing the K1s or the 1040s, whatever. So those generally, I would say, give it a couple of days, unless your borrower, submits everything up front, which again, it does happen. And then those pre-approvals, by the way, they last 90 days. After 90 days, because we are running into where people are taking longer than 90 days to find a house, they don't have to start over. They don't have to necessarily send in new documents. I'll just ask them a few questions. Has anything changed on your credit? Are you still employed with the same company? Still working the same hours? If all of those answers are, hey, nothing's changed, I'm the same as I was 90 days ago, I can just change the letter to have a new date for another 90 days. But then I just make sure that then I will call you, the agent, and I'll say, hey, here's a new updated pre-approval. This is assuming nothing has changed. Because what I don't want to do is start running their credit every 90 days. That just doesn't make sense. I'll ask them the probing questions I need to ask to make sure nothing has changed. Did you buy a new car? Open up any new credit cards? If those answers start to be, well, we bought some furniture, we did this, then I'll say it's probably a good idea if I take a look at your credit. If they're over 800, then I'm probably not going to need to look at their credit. But if they're in that range of like low 700s to where if they dip below 700, that can affect certain criteria, then I'll take a look at the credit. But long story short, I can send out a new pre-approval letter after 90 days, and you don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah. I love that. Something that has been coming up in conversations recently has been extended rate locks as rates are climbing back up, particularly with new construction, right? People are looking to extend that rate out. Do you guys do any extended locks? What does that look like?
So we don't. The longest I can lock a rate is 60 days. I can't lock a rate until I have a contract, which I can't stress. Just a side note, I can't stress enough how important it is to get somebody pre-approved before you get me the contract. I'll still do it. I can still help, but I can stand behind a pre-approval and say, hey, we're good to go. If you send me a contract and I don't have it pre-approved, then I can't with confidence tell you that this is a good deal. But to go back to your other question, 60 days is the max I can do. We do new construction on the permanent side. So, if they're having a house built, I typically, I'll get them pre-approved. And then when they say, hey, our house is supposed to be done in 8 months, I say, once you get 60 days out from that date, give me the contract. We'll submit it. We'll look at locking in rates. But 60 days is going to be the rate lock period that we have.
Okay.
And by the way, real quick, on those options to lock those rates extended, there are typically a lot of fees involved and higher rates because obviously they, rates have started to creep up some, and to protect themselves, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
So there's a downside sometimes to it.
Hey, Don, can I ask just a quick question? So if you got pressured for time and you could do it appraisal wise, because I know that appraisals are the issue, what is the very, very fastest that you could possibly close a client?
Yeah, great question. And that's a dangerous one. So if again, I go back to being pre-approved. If they're not pre-approved, I need 30 days. If they've been pre-approved, the minimum we can do is like around 23 days.
Okay.
20. And a lot of times it's the appraisal. That's the problem is, we're getting those appraisals, 3 weeks later. And if there's any issues, we're starting to see some more appraisals come back lower because these prices are just going through the roof. So then now you have a limited amount of time to negotiate a new, purchase price and all that. But to answer your question, 22, 23 days if they've been fully pre-approved, and if it's a conventional loan. If it's an FHA loan, and especially USDA, forget about it. It's like, 45, 60 days. No. But on FHA, 26 days, 27 days, I can do it under 30. VA, we're going to need the absolute minimum of 30 days. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys are aware on the VA appraisals. The appraiser has 10 business days to go out to the house, and he or she cannot even go out to the house and appraise the house until the customer e-signs the disclosures. So once they e-sign the disclosures, then we can order the appraisal. So the VA appraisals take forever and a day. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Hey, Don.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys seeing a fair amount around the nation? Are you seeing a fair amount of appraisal waivers in markets that aren't, ridiculous like ours is currently?
No, I mean, yes and no. It depends on the down payment. I had a couple clients yesterday who put down like 60%. So when they're putting down that much, they're financing like $100-something thousand on a $500,000, $400,000 house, whatnot. Sometimes we'll get those waivers, but they've got to put down a giant chunk, and their credit's got to be stellar. I typically don't mention those just because I've seen where, and I've had phone calls with other clients that have said, hey, this other company told me I can get my appraisal waived. But then they find out that that's not the case. So, it's always good news if I call them and say, hey, good news, I can save you $500. You qualify for a property inspection waiver, rather than setting that expectation up front, because a lot of times it is super rare.
Cool. Those are great questions. All right. Well, Don, we've got your contact information. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any other questions, reach out. I didn't check. Is there any questions in the chat? We good there?
I think we covered them all.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. I look forward to working with you, and just let me know if you guys have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
You are welcome. You guys enjoy your day.
All right. You too, sir.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. I've been waiting a really long time to wear the shirt I'm wearing today. It's my Keller Offers shirt that I picked up at a family reunion camp thing at some point, right? And it's here. And some of you are like, okay, what does that mean? And others of you who know what that means are like, yay, it's here. So let me tell you a little bit about Keller Offers. Keller Offers is another tool for your tool belt, right? That you can, I'm sure, find a variety of uses for. Keller Offers provides solutions for our sellers as they're preparing to enter the real estate market, right? It also provides options for you to work in partnership to find the right solutions for sellers. And so we're gonna dive in. Disclaimer, a quick one, right? I am your Keller Offers presenter today. And I know very little about the details of Keller Offers. I've gone through the training certification course that I'm going to invite you guys all to go through, right? So if you have questions as we go and I'm not able to answer them, I'm going to direct you to that training resource, right? That's your very, very first step. But I want you to have a high level overview of what Keller Offers is, the products and services that they offer. And we can talk a little bit about how these fit in your tool belt for your business. So let's dive in. So Keller Offers has 2 different programs right now that they offer to Keller Williams agents exclusively. Okay. And so those programs, sorry, and I'm just rearranging it so I can see all of your pretty faces on my screen, or at least the 10 of you who are brave enough to show your face today. Keller Offers. Okay. So they offer a cash offer program. Think of this as a responsible substitute to Open Door or Zillow offers for your seller who's looking to make an iBuyer or an off-market sale. Okay, think of this as a responsible alternative, and we'll talk about that in a second. And their Ready to Sell program, which has just launched in Denver as well. And we're going to dive into that. The Ready to Sell programs are concierge style services that can allow your sellers to get their home ready for market before you hitch. So, you know, think paint, carpet, staging, those kind of things. Okay. So let's dive in. We're going to start with the cash offer program. Okay, so in the training, you will learn how your clients can submit a request for a cash offer. That request of the cash offer will then allow them to go to the Keller Offers market, where they have several cash offer buyers, including our partner offer pad. Okay, and so there are also private cash buyers inside of that program, right? But your seller's property will get shopped to these buyers to find them the best deal, or even a selection of offers, okay? The seller will then have the opportunity to control the closing date. They'll be able to control their move out date as well, right? Inside of that, so that they can sell their house, right, to Keller Offers, live in the home as they're shopping for their new home, and be able to make a non-contingent purchase. So incredible opportunity there. They don't have to go through any showings. And throughout the process, there are no other surprise spots where the buyer would come back and change the offer. There would possibly be a spot to negotiate repairs. The buyer would do an inspection of the property and negotiate repairs. But here's the bonus to that. You, as the listing agent, continue to represent your seller throughout the entire transaction. So you are representing them. That's why this is a more responsible choice. Okay, throughout the process. And then depending on the buyer that that makes an offer for your seller, you are compensated for being their listing agent in the transaction, either at 2 or 3%, depending on who that purchaser is for your seller. So they get to go off market. They get to save on those ridiculous fees. I don't know if you've had any clients go through Zillow or Open Door, but those fees can be ridiculous, and they can surprise them at any moment by coming back and renegotiating that offer. So your clients have that opportunity to go in. This is available by zip code. So zip codes in the greater Denver metro area and in the Fort Collins area are accepted to this. If you work outside of the Denver metro area, if you're up in the mountains, or if you're down closer to Colorado Springs or anything like that, then go through the certification program. You'll get a list of the zip codes that are included currently, so you can see if those are accessible. Any questions or comments on this piece real quick?
Hey, Anna, do you know of anyone who's done Keller Offers before, or have you had a chance to kind of interview someone who's gone through it before to talk about all, you know, how it relates to like Zillow or Open Door?
My understanding is that the offers are well below what they would get in open market, because that's kind of the trend in these. They're incredibly competitive with those. So it would absolutely be something for your seller to look at. But because this is just launched in Denver here in April, I don't know anyone who's used it yet.
Gotcha. I'll try to do some research too about it. It would just be interesting to get an idea. So good stuff.
Absolutely.
So Anna, how much below? I mean, I know Zillow usually comes in 30% market value, because of course they're going to sell it. They want to make money. Right. So if that's, I mean, it just, yeah, we need to know the fine print for one thing, because if we suggest that to our seller saying, hey, I think your house is worth 540, but Keller's going to offer you 510, so you can go buy the next house, you know. And then with this open market right now, if you're listed at 540, you could get 570 with these crazy buyers out there. So it's got to be, something that we don't look like idiots, for sure.
Absolutely. And Dwayne, I think is something very important that that came out of that Keller Offers training. And so I would take this on as well, is 9 out of 10 of the sellers that consult with Keller Offers continue to go to the open market and sell that direction. So I think this is a tool that, like I said at the beginning of the meeting, right? This changes the script. This can be something else in your tool belt that could be a solution for sellers. In the Keller Offers case, 9 out of 10 will still choose to go to open market. So it's not going to be a solution for everybody. And it is going to be an off-market solution if you need one, right? Some agents have already put together their own off-market solutions, right? And you've got your investor pool in your back pocket who are looking for people who are ready to sell off-market, and you can coordinate those deals on your own if you'd like to. And for others, for some sellers, they'd prefer to work with an organization as opposed to that. And for for some agents who don't have that back pocket and those resources put together, this is a phenomenal tool to go in with. So I would highly encourage you to check out the on-demand training to get more of those details too, Dwayne.
Hey, Anna. So let's say that our seller does that, we close it and they move on with their life. What happens to the house? What is Keller Offers doing with the house?
It depends on who the buyer is.
Okay.
They're facilitating that purchase to the buyer. So that buyer could be one of their investors, or it could be the partner offer pad. And so different things would happen depending on what the buyer intends.
Okay. So if they were to turn around and put it back on the market, where do they get the relationship with their listing agent? Do you know?
That would be a great question for them.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So
Anna, can I ask a question? Where do you find the on-demand training for this?
It's going to be in the portal. There's a website. It's on one of the slides here coming up.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So think about this as a marketing tool to change that conversation, right? Especially if you're talking to some of these pools of sellers, right? Potential for sale by owners, right? And they may be a little burnt out on the process and weary of going back onto open market or working with a real estate agent, right? Put this in your tool belt for expireds when you're prospecting there, right? If I had a solution to help you sell your home today, is that something you'd be interested in learning more about, right? Now, you might be thinking, oh, expireds in this market. Well, there's expireds in every market if you look for them, right? So definitely great tools inside of your tool belt. And think of this as a solution for every listing appointment you go on, as another service you could possibly provide if you think they might be a candidate for selling off market. Because if you don't talk to them about this, then they're just 2 clicks away from Google having, or from Zillow having this conversation with them, right? When you complete the training, you'll have access to the marketing toolkit, right? This is an incredibly valuable toolkit, so that you can start marketing, using the campaign function in Command and doing Facebook ads, right? To bring seller leads into your business, right? Remember that stat, 9 out of 10 will still go to the open market. What if this is what starts that conversation for you? You know, I don't know about you, but I've been looking for more seller leads lately. Anybody else? This might be a great tool for your tool belt there in looking for seller leads and putting this in your tool belt. So there's everything from small marketing collateral to flyers and postcards that you can promote Keller Offers and your partnership in the business together there. So definitely take a look at those pieces. The Keller Offers Ready to Sell program is the home preparation product, right? So this allows the seller to prep their home for market without having out-of-pocket costs or hassle. So think of this for, paint, carpet, light fixtures, countertops, right? What kind of updates need to happen to get the house ready to sell? I live in Highlands Ranch, which is predominantly built out in like the 1990s. And I tell you, it feels like it when you see some of the properties in Highlands Ranch, right? Lots of brass and wood trim and original builder grade. And so these might be some options that are really attractive to your seller, and yet it can be a real hassle to pull that equity out of the property prior to sale to be able to do these renovations if they don't already have those funds sitting in their savings account. So this is available in Denver now. Fort Collins, it'll be coming soon, but they offer 2 different ways clients can finance the repairs or renovations that are happening on their home. The first is available now in Denver, and the second would be coming soon. And so available in Denver now is based on their credit worthiness. So essentially that's a private loan that's happening between Keller Offers and the seller. Keller Offers will then come in, do all of the repair, and then after closing, the seller pays that loan. It's actually not tied to the closing, but it's done after closing. And in most cases would probably be in conjunction to that, but it's not actually tied to the property at all. It's a personal loan from Keller Offers to the sellers based on their credit worthiness. Coming soon would be an equity-based option where if your seller maybe potentially doesn't meet their credit guidelines, which off the top of my head I can't remember. I want to say it's like a 720 or a 740 credit score kind of threshold to get into that credit worthiness for your sellers. If they had plenty of equity in their property, they'd be able to go with an equity-based option, and so that'll be coming soon. So here's a killer success story, right? And I'm just going to fast forward through this. As is value of this property, 1.9 million, 60 grand was invested, flooring, paint, drywall, sold and listed at $2.5 million in 4 days. This was a $60,000 investment that they turned into over $600,000. And so you can see here's some before and after pictures, right? This program can also be used for staging as well. So if you put that into the budget. Here's another one, as is value, 450,000. They just put $6,000 into a little bit of carpet and paint. They sold in just 4 days for $492. So worth it to your sellers, probably 100%. Keller Offers works with 100% vetted vendors who are part of that program. You can also introduce them to your vendors if you have some great vendors who you think would be interested in working with Keller Offers. They act essentially as the general contractor for these projects and will coordinate all of those vendors coming out. It's a pretty easy process to be able to get your clients started, and they'll work with you to fill out a form online of what that looks like, and then they're contacted by somebody who's going to come to the property and do an estimate for those pieces and start that process. So it's very expedited, and these changes can happen very quickly in a matter of just a couple of weeks in most offers, or in most cases. So real high level overview. Learn more about these tools, add them to your tool belt. You can get your certification and your training on demand. Go to app.kelleroffers.com, app.kelleroffers.com. You'll register there on the portal. You'll get some emails back that you'll need to, confirm your email. And then you'll be able to dive into those trainings so that you can be well informed of this for your clients. Both of these tools are available in the Denver metro area now, so you can start using these and using them to market and prospect for additional seller business as well. Change the story, right? Cool. Here's a little bit of what that portal is going to look like for you, so you can take a look and you know what to expect. Okay. Any additional questions there? Awesome. I'm going to dive right in. Hey, Madison, you wear a lot of hats, my friend.
I do. I'm very, very blessed to be part. I'm here. I'm not going to take very much of your time because I know that we are running short. So I'm going to make sure that all of you get this information in your group, in your office Facebook group. So please feel free to go and explore more. But I am here to talk about Keller Williams Young Professionals. It has been a life-changing experience for me being part of this organization. I joined 3 years ago when I went to family reunion and went with a bunch of people that I didn't know. And we all ended up staying together, and all of them were talking about Keller Williams Young Professionals. So I did what they all told me to do, and I signed up right there. And was invited to a panel of speakers where Chris Suarez and Ben Kinney were talking in a very small room, intimate group. And ever since then, my business has just exploded with referrals. So I want to extend the opportunity to y'all to be part of YP. I'm very, very excited to announce that we are launching a local chapter here in Denver. And we're going to be launching at the end of this month. There are 2 different events, and I will put all this information in the chat with links as well. The first event is going to be the Thrive, Don't Survive panel. We have 4 speakers that are coming. I'll go ahead and give you the names. Daniel Dickson, Aurelia Gernstead, Dave Umphris, and Emma Burns. And they're going to be talking about how they got where they got, what led them to be here, their stories. So come with your questions, and we would love to see you on Zoom or in person if you feel comfortable. And the following day, we are going to have a big launch event called the Black and White Gala, and we are going to be at Mile High Station. And it is going to be a fun networking group, which I know we are all craving. We're going to have dueling pianos, drinks and appetizers. It's going to be a great night. I know that I personally have like 7 people that are already staying with me from all over the country that are coming in town for this event. So it's a great opportunity to network with people. Just a couple of statistics before I let y'all all go, because I know that it's about time. there was $1,067,342 sent in GCI between KWYP agents last year. That is an incredible amount. I know I was a part of that number as well. And then also to be in the top 25% of KWYP, you have to have a GCI of over $1 million. That is an incredible group of agents that we're all networking together. We're all learning from each other, and you're shoulder to shoulder with them. You're meeting them at happy hours. I know that I've met a lot of incredible agents that are doing amazing things and have just, you know, led me to be where I am today. So I'll leave you with a quote that says, if you are wanting to be great, surround yourself with great people. So I encourage you to dig into KWYP. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Madison, is there an age limit?
It's 40 and under.
Okay.
Hey, Madison, are they ever going to come out with the KWOP for us old people?
You know, that's actually been something that people have been talking about, because they're like, okay, some of our greatest ones are like about to be phasing out. So they're like, we're going to have a KW kind of young professionals.
Awesome question.
Oh, it was for you, Quinn. It was for you, Quinn, because I know you're about to turn 41.
Absolutely.
And I encourage you to dig in, even if you're maybe you have teams and you're looking to recruit young people to your teams. This is a great resource to recruit people to your team and have them reach out to me. I'd love to talk to them.
Hey, Madison, I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
In order to attend these events, do you have to be a member of KWYP?
So I actually put that in the chat. So if you have to be a member of Keller Williams to attend the events in person, however, we are opening it to recruits on Zoom, and we will even have a Zoom at the gala where you can participate in the dueling pianos and kind of get a little taste of what's to come. So yes, you have to be part of Keller Williams. This is a recruiting launch party, so we encourage you to sign up for KWYP, but if you want to come and explore it, we're welcoming that.
Awesome. And then when you share this information on the Facebook groups, could you also share the link to register to be a member of KWYP?
I sure will. Yes, great question. I will do that. And just so you know, it's $399 a year, $39 a month. Every single year, I've gotten way more deals than that. It's definitely paid for itself 10 times over. It also, they have education like Quantum Leap, Leverage Series, Personal Growth, Financial Literacy, and tons of speakers that are open to KWYP for free. So definitely get your money there.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? I want to be respectful of y'all's time, so y'all can go get some business and lead generate.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. Take the tools that you've learned about today and take action. Take action on growing your business with these tools to support you. Reach out if you have any additional questions, and we will see you guys next week. Take care. Happy Wednesday.